Hello and welcome back to the Single Malt Review with me, Tim, and this, Dave.
Hi.
On our third push into the unknown, foggy lands of Scandinavian whiskey with the set from Berry Brothers and Rudd. And I should again shout out Heine, the whiskey enabler in chief, for making this one possible for us. Thank you once again to Mr. Heine. Now we have gone to, as one is wont to do, Sweden.
Yes.
We've gone into the real rough patch of the Scandies, depending on who you ask. And we've gone to a very niche, almost a farm distillery. What have we got on this one?
Well, we've moved from Tierenpeli in Finland over to Sweden. Our distiller is Smögen. They've been in business since 2009, but producing spirits since 2010. Pretty small production, so 35,000 litres per year, which is about maybe a third of Idredur, a comparably small Scottish distillery.
Of the traditional ones, anyway. There are, now that we're in the new age of farm distilleries popping up left, right and centre every seemingly fortnight, then it probably doesn't hold the title anymore. But nonetheless, an exceedingly small production.
Yeah, this is a 2012 vintage, so we've only been in business a couple of years when this one emerged. It's been matured for a full 10 years in an Oloroso hogshead. So similar history to the Tierenpeli we tried in the last video.
And with one extremely key difference, as we're going to find out, because this
peat.
one, it sounds like they produce damn near exclusively peated offerings, and that is quite interesting. This puts them as the sort of the, I don't know, almost their little bit of Islay energy in the middle of Scandinavia, because I don't think anybody else is doing exclusively peated whiskey.
This is, again, as you expect, a potent offering, 59.6% ABV.
Yes, indeed, and a hogshead for this one, Oloroso hogshead. So
it's exactly the same type.
Again,
of
I'm expecting big things based on the taxonomy alone. Maybe we should expect sort of a Lagavulin experience coming out of this one.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't be in any way disappointed if that's what happened.
Well, the tasting notes tell us on the nose we should expect. What we got? Coastal peat, seaweed, grilled lime, smoked bacon and leather, with a farmyard note developing over time.
You know, I've never grilled a lime,
Yeah.
and may never, but I'll just have to take the word on that one. Otherwise, that checks out. This is definitely tangy coastal peat. It is quite evocative of Islay. It does have that, it's got that seaweed iodine-y prickle to it.
And on palate, we should look forward to little fruit in the form of pear drops and apricot jam, two personal favourites. That peat smoke building and demanding attention, being a finish which involves tangy orange and waves of smoke.
Whoa. Well, it's certainly demanding my attention. That is strong stuff.
Yeah.
That's even punchier than the last one, which was pretty jolly punchy. This is strong with some very, very high peat on top. I wonder what the ppm on this. This strikes me as very heavily peated. I wonder if they even measure the ppm. They're such a small outfit. This is just about up there. This is Ardbeg levels, if not higher levels of phenolics going on here. That's wild.
There is pleasant sweetness, though, behind that, in contrast to that.
Yeah, underneath, it's in there.
The peat isn't too overwhelming on the nose, surprisingly. It's quite fruity.
I think that'll change once we put a bit of water in. I think it's hiding behind the ABV at the moment.
It is surprisingly and very pleasantly drinkable at full strength. Let's get a little water in there, though, and see what happens.
Yeah, not so much Lagavulin. It's a little bit more like sherry matured Colilo, which doesn't happen too often, but when it does, it's a little bit evocative of that. Smoky bacon with no shortage of citrus.
Yeah.
There's the two notes I most typically get from Colilo. So let's see.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah.
That sort of brought out the fumes a bit more.
Yeah, there's a strong minerality, a bit of coal, some greasy rope, always classic Colilo.
It's very coaly now that the water's gone in.
I didn't actually check whether it is Scottish sourced peat or local.
Well, they say coastal peat.
Yeah. Right.
Which doesn't mean a great deal. I think it's probably local. It's probably local, but clearly marine. So it shares a similar lineage there. I don't think I'd be able to tell it apart.
Should clarify, while the distillery is called Smögen, they're not actually from the city of Smögen. They're based in one moment. Hunnebustrand, so further to the north.
Yeah, fishing village country out there. Yeah, this one, I think, for as much as it is quite unconventional for Scandinavian whiskey, it's conventional, much like the last one, in its own way. This one, I think, could have, as the last one could have, this could have completely fooled me if someone had given it to me blind and said this is some sort of slightly weird Colilla. And I would have said, yeah, it tastes like some sort of slightly weird Colilla. And I would have been wrong. So that goes to show, as much as I think we're learning two lessons here. Scandinavian whiskey can be extremely weird, but it doesn't have to be. It is by no means restrained to being bizarre all the time. But if it gets the strange fancies, if the gnomes get into it, then it can certainly produce some weird stuff. But this, outlier though it may be in the rest of Scandinavian distilling, really pretty conventional for Islay whiskey, and I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. Easy to see why they describe it as a cult favourite.
Absolutely. Scores on this one. And again, this is price agnostic. I cannot imagine these whiskies are in any way cheap, given that they produce about 100 casks a year. Yeah. If that. This is handmade whiskey by any measure. I think this is really, really pretty good. This is an 88 from me. This is, talk about Islay alternative, this is just as good as the best whiskey coming out of Islay or Malt or Talisker for that matter. Talisker, I'm sorry, Isle of Skye. You do matter. You are a legitimate place, even though Talisker is probably the main thing going. But yes, as good as any of the peated offerings coming out of Scotland. Very, very well made whiskey. What do you think?
Yeah, this is 89 points for me. Tad higher. It is robustly peated, but not overwhelmingly so. It's not some sort of novelty gimmick levels of peat. It is strong compared to probably a lot of the other Scandinavian whiskies, but it's just a well-managed peat. It's been wrangled, it's been harnessed, and just put to very good use in a all-round smashing whiskey.
Yeah, remarkable to see. So much for ending on a peated one. They snuck this one over on us, but never mind. We will just have to manage. Okay, Slanger, catch us back for the next couple. And one blend, as we've discovered. So that'll be very interesting. Right, catch us then.